Hi, I'm Matt with Main Street Medina, and welcome to another edition of Medina Minute. Today we're going to sit down with a couple friends and familiar faces from around the city of Medina and learn a little bit more about them and what makes Medina, Medina. Today we're here with Dave Wyatt of Minuteman Press on Medina Minute. Dave, thanks so much for sitting down with me today. First question, how the heck did you end up in Medina, Ohio owning, do we call it a printing company?
We like
to
you
do
call
everything. What do you do?
We like to be known as a marketing service provider.
Marketing?
We're changing it up
A
a little
marketing
bit.
service provider. How
So
did you end up in Medina as a marketing service provider then?
So I worked for a company called Konica Minolta for 19 years.
Okay.
Big corporation,
Yeah.
multi-billion-dollar company. They did well by me. I feel I succeeded there.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to the point where corporate world, let's do more with less.
Sure.
That started happening. I had, at the time I left, I had a market in Cleveland that I was covering, basically Northeast Ohio.
Okay.
Youngstown, Toledo, that area. And then they let go of my counterpart in Pittsburgh, and de facto they're like, hey, you now have Pittsburgh. We expected you to do just as well in Pittsburgh and Cleveland and not,
And everywhere else.
slack. So
Yeah.
it just, to me, wasn't a good business decision on their
Sure.
part. I feel I couldn't give 100% to Cleveland or Pittsburgh, so I just started looking. And I wasn't looking to go elsewhere to work for somebody else. I figured at this time, let's see what's out there.
Yeah.
But being in the printing industry, that's what I knew. So let's try to stay close to what I know. I'm not
Sure.
trying to reinvent myself completely. So I knew some Minuteman Press owners from my travels because we had equipment in a lot of them. Never found one that really talked bad about the business. Kind of knew who was succeeding and who was kind of just treading water, if
Sure.
you will. So I felt I knew how to take it to a next level if I found that opportunity. Honestly, I was looking more towards Lakewood. I lived in
Really?
Lakewood at the time.
Okay.
So I was looking in that area. There's a lot of business in that area. You're close to downtown, so
Sure.
I thought maybe that'd be a prime spot. And nothing available. Just there wasn't anything available. So corporate got a hold of me and said, we think we might have something you'll be interested in. And I was somewhat familiar with Medina, not greatly, and I had been in the Minuteman Press shop here, a couple times.
Yeah.
So we came out, and I met Dale, the previous owner, and got to talking, and things just kind of fell in place.
Nice.
So I bought the business October of 2019. Ironically, almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's flown by. It's been an adventure. Thank you, COVID. But I tell you what, I fell in love with Medina.
Nice.
Instantly. I mean,
Yeah.
you obviously love Medina, or you would be
I
doing
do.
what you do.
I do. Yeah.
The challenge was, I have a wife in Lakewood, and she grew up in Lakewood.
Yeah.
And, she's started in Chicago, moved to Lakewood. She's always been a big city. So I brought her out here a few times. And,
Wait a minute. Did you just compare Lakewood to Chicago?
well, I'm saying Cleveland, right? So,
Okay.
you can still see tall buildings.
Yes,
wherever
that's
from.
all right. Fair enough.
So I'm like, okay, I got to convince her to come out to Medina. It's night and
Did you
day
tell her
difference.
first that you were going to do
Oh,
this?
of
or did
course.
you-
Yeah, no, we
Like,
had
oh, honey,
conversations.
by the way, I
And
bought
it
a
was-
business in Medina.
Yeah, surprise, happy birthday. We had, well, when I bought the business, it was a 40-minute drive. I'm like, it's
Okay.
not horrible.
It's not bad.
I can handle
No.
this. But then I didn't want to handle it anymore.
Right.
And like I said, I fell in love with the city, and I'm like, this is great. Let's explore the opportunity of possibly moving. So long story short, we ended up. She agreed. She's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
We move here. I put my house on the market because the market was going crazy. Now's a perfect time to sell,
Sure.
but not a perfect time to buy.
Yes.
So we found a place to rent, and we moved here in May.
Okay.
And she loves it.
Good.
Her mother's with us. My mother's now with us.
Oh my.
Yes, so because of that, her mom was with us initially, but then my mom had some health issues and ended up moving in with us as well. So now we're like, okay, the house that we're renting, not quite what we need. So thankfully, we are closing on a house in Valley City.
Oh, good for you.
October 1st.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. So where are you from originally?
I grew up in Hubbard. It's right outside of Youngstown.
Okay.
It borders Youngstown.
Gotcha.
Grew up there, graduated from there.
Yeah.
Moved back. I went in the military, but then moved back for about a year.
Okay. What branch of the service were you in?
I was in the Army.
All right.
I was in the Army for 8 years as an aircraft electrician. Yeah, worked on multi-million-dollar helicopters at 21 years old.
As a kid growing up, most boys stereotypically cowboys and Indians, What did you think as a kid? You're like, I'm gonna grow up and be this.
I never had that one profession where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a firefighter, or I'm gonna do this. But I always liked to tinker. I always liked to, if I had a radio, one thing in particular that stands out is I had a radio, and all of a sudden the radio stopped working. So I'm taking that radio apart and trying to figure it out, and I ended up getting it working again.
Really?
So working with my hands just kind of led me down that path.
Okay. Sounds like you're a crafty, hands-on kind of a guy. Like, do you have a hobby that supports that? Or what do you do in your spare time?
So I enjoy golf, but that doesn't really correlate with what you're asking, but I enjoy golf. There for a while. I'm not very artistic. It's funny. My family has artistic genes, and they just skipped right over me. But I got into what's called pour painting for a little while. So basically acrylic paint with cells, and I could make art, but not really.
Is that the stuff like where you put a colander in the middle of the canvas?
You can do the colander,
pour the paint, or you put stick a hole in the bottom and go like this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just kind of creates cool, pretty neat designs. You really you don't really know what you're going to get until that paint just starts to flow. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes you're like, okay, we're going to paint over this one. But did that for close to 2 years, shortly before we moved here. And now my hobby's the business. Yeah. It takes up some good time.
I mean, you mentioned COVID. Every small business went through so many challenges and changes.
Yeah.
How do you feel the business came out stronger because of that? Like, what did you have to do as the business owner and as responsible for employees to ensure that the doors are open, the money's coming in, and we're going to make it through?
Right. So thankfully, I got the business before COVID hit, so I had some time to build some relationships, join the chamber, join Main Street Medina. And to me, that's key, is getting to know the people in the community, because, not just the business owners. But because I was able to, it was probably 5 months before COVID really, before everything closed down, I was able to get out there. When I bought the business here, there was some reasons that I thought it'd be a great opportunity, because the previous owner wasn't offering some of the things that Minuteman Press as a franchise can do. And he had owned it for 24 years, and he was comfortable, I totally understand that. But because of that, to me, there was opportunity, and I started growing that. A lot of it had to do with direct mail, offering mail pieces to our clients, promotional products. So I was able to start growing that side of the business. So by the time COVID hit and we started losing, Medina County Showbiz is, a client of ours. So all of that went away. Anything that had tickets, anything where groups got together that we were printing for, we were able to kind of supplement that with the new offerings that I brought in, and we were able to grow 30% year over year through COVID. So,
do you look at that as, one of my favorite phrases is the gift and the curse? Do you look at that as the gift that came out of the curse? Because it forced you, like for everything that we do at Main Street, we had to rethink everything.
Sure.
For that, it forced you to figure out, how do I stay relevant and add something to keep going?
Yeah, and not so much for me, I don't think, because like I said, I was starting to bring in those new revenue streams before we really knew everything was going to shut down.
Okay.
Now, once everything shut down, then it really made me push those things more. but we were able to get some new clients, and
Nice.
because of that, we were able to continue to grow. So
Yeah.
and it's continued. Things have gone really well.
Cool. What's your favorite part of your day at work? What do you love doing down there?
Favorite part of the day, honestly, when I come in the morning, just making sure that all the
Smell
books,
the ink,
smell
the
of ink,
paper.
paper dust everywhere.
Just to clarify, you're not huffing ink in the corner. I'm not
at
portraying
all.
you that way. But there's that. Take this in a positive, in which I mean it. There is a certain scent when you walk into your business. You have the
sure.
paper and the ink, and it's different than walking into Root Candle or to a bakery.
Yeah. It's definitely not as pleasant as walking into Root
No, it's
Candle.
not terrible. It's not terrible at all. What's the oddest job request you've ever had? Someone said, "Can you do this?" Hopefully, it wasn't anything from me.
No,
Okay.
no, nothing pops into mind, but there is a story to this, right? So, being a franchise, we have corporate liaisons that help us out.
Okay.
Whether it's hiring or software that we have. Well, before I bought the business, one of our corporate staff called in with an accent, and I'm not even gonna try an accent because
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it. But he called in with this accent, and he's like, "Do you print on baby ducks?" And the graphic designer was like,
Print on baby ducks.
On what? Do you print on baby ducks? And obviously we don't. But
Right. But let me look into that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you no right away. Let me see if there's something we can help you with. Yeah, you never want to say no.
Like, did he literally want you to print in a duck, or was he doing like the little rubber ducks?
He was just
Did you ever figure it out, or you just never called him back?
Was it was a joke. He was calling it as
Okay.
a joke to test the staff. Because, we never want to say no. We'll figure it out.
I mean, not initially, at least.
Right. Of course we can. How many feathers do they have? Are they white?
my God.
I don't know.
That's hysterical. What? Your business is your hobby. It's a consuming thing, being responsible for all that. Assuming you get some time off or alone time, how do you decompress, or what do you do to put that aside and just be Dave? Is it golf? Is it family time?
Right now, it's tough because, like I said, we have two moms.
You're moving. You got moms coming in.
It's a crazy time for us.
Yeah.
I think once I move, then that relaxing / alone time / I love spending time with the moms and my wife.
Sure.
But it's always nice to get a little separation. So we have a
Yes, it is.
Right guy said a little separation.
Yes.
That's my wife, brother.
Yeah.
But I've got a small pond at the new place and
Okay.
an extra garage, so I'm going to have some area to get away. Right now, there's
Some
nothing.
man cave stuff, some fishing,
just some. I'm going to get a tractor today because I'm going to need
nice.
it. So those types of things. So right now,
Your face lights up. I'm gonna get a tractor.
I'm going to get a tractor.
I have to ask the moms.
Yes.
Did they get along before you got married? Because now they're living together as well.
Well, what's funny? So my wife is firstborn here in the U.S. From Serbia. So her family is from Serbia. Her mom never really grasped the English language, so she can speak about 10% of whatever you're conversing in English. So there's not much communication between them. Outside of that, they do get along fine, and maybe that's best. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
that
that's
could
good.
be.
So they're not yelling at each other. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
And if
that's
they were, neither one would
hysterical.
understand each other.
Oh my gosh. What would be, if you're able to say, all right, wife, and I know you wouldn't say it like that, but I don't know her name and I'm not going to ask, but if you were to say, all right, wife, pack your bags, we're going on a dream vacation, we're going to take 2 weeks and go here.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Jamaica because I've been to Jamaica once on our honeymoon.
All right.
Been to Mexico a few times. Been, in the military, I've traveled a lot, but Jamaica was amazing. I loved it.
What is it that you loved so much?
A lot of it had to do with the resort we were on. They
Yeah.
made sure the entertainment was there every night. Took care. The staff was very accommodating. So that was nice. But then we got away from the resort a couple times and did some. Unfortunately, it's a very poor country, so you see a lot of that once you leave the resort.
Right.
But, Yeah, I would probably go back to Jamaica.
Very cool. Very cool. What is it that you love about this town? Other than now you're financially tied here for the rest of your life.
Right, yeah, there's no leaving.
You know, but you have to love where you go to work, both your business but also your community.
The best thing about this town to me is the sense of community. I mean, you see that all the time. The small town feel. I mean, we're sitting right across from the square and the gazebo. I mean, that's a beautiful area. And the things that you, as Main Street Medina, helped to put on. And, just yesterday, my mom and I went to the Saturday farmers market and went down to Makers yesterday.
Nice,
Makers,
cool.
And then the flea market on Saturday as well. And there's always something. There's always something going on. But then you also have, for my wife, you have the accommodations of, you got your Marshalls and your Kohl's and your shoe carnivals and your, we got 2 Aldis and 2, there's everything you need without having to go far.
Yeah, that's very true.
Walmart and a Target. I mean, even when we lived in Lakewood has a lot of stuff, but you're driving 15 minutes to get to a Target or to, something. Not that I care, but my wife. Again,
care.
Keeping my wife happy is key.
You're a very smart man, Dave Wyatt. When you drive around the square, do you have a favorite building, or what is it that when you hit here, you just see it and you're like, that's it?
It's all of it. I just love it. And coming into here, because Rose Properties, that's who I have my lease through at work. And I just love coming in here to pay the bills because they've got the old pictures of the square. And
it's dangerous going up and down the staircase.
And watching and looking at them.
Right.
But I love the old courthouse. I mean, that's with the clock tower is awesome. But just the whole square is beautiful. And the stories behind it and how many tragedies there were.
Sure.
Rising from the ashes. I mean, it's literal.
If there were one thing you could change about the town, what would it be? Either something you would change, something you would add, something that you would like to see happen?
Wow, that's I really don't know. There's nothing that pops into my mind instantly.
Good.
That's good.
All right. Job done. No, fantastic. Well, Dave, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Sure.
I appreciate it. It was great learning more about you, and wish you the best of luck with business.
Yes, thank you so much.